Good evening. Hello there. How are you? Uh, Dr. Rao here. I'm promised this morning that I'll come back and talk about the um, topic I was discussing this morning. That's about the three things that we could do which will really relieve our anxiety, which only many people have. These days, that is triggered very quickly, and it doesn't have to be a specific thing, but there are so many triggers that people suffer from. They are late, or they are somebody said something, or somebody commented something, or they are dreading somebody's arrival or talk or whatnot, right? So I thought I'll bring in some uh, simple wisdom that I learned from ancients, where they talked about three things. One is learning to keep things where you took it from. Okay, returning it back. Keeping it there. This is very important to keep an orderly household, and whatever you're doing, you just want to keep it neat and nice. Okay, and then other thing is uh, you want to really have a very nice place wherever you are working, which makes it much more easier to reach out for things, right? And then the second thing is about doing the stuff right away. Whatever we want to do, we want to do them right away, accomplish them right away, right? And the third thing is letting things go. These are the three things I was talking this morning, and I told them I will come back for another half an hour or so, and I will talk about this. I know it's Christmas. I know a lot of people are celebrating dinner. We will eat a little later, so I thought I will come and talk to you guys now. Okay, so what is the big deal about keeping things that you have taken from and you worked on something, and then as you finished off, you want to return the tool to where it belongs? That will save a lot of time, and for the next time when you want to do something with the tool or whatever, that becomes real easy, and it's not anxiety prone thing. Otherwise, you may have to you may be needing that tool right away, and you are not able to get it. So that kind of it is some kind of a little bit of anxiety. Many people are not, but some people are. And these days, many people are getting anxiety for no reason. But this could be one of the reasons. They get so upset because they could not find something that they expecting to be there, and somebody has messed up. Okay, anybody can. I want things in order because that's how I operate. And usually, the more attentive you are, the more order we can restore to our surroundings, to what we are doing. Right. So important thing to understand and make our life simple, and then make everything be in its place, so that we don't make a mess, and then that mess itself gives us anxiety, right? So if you are living in a chaotic house, if you are living in a chaotic car, or if you are in a chaotic office, and people are really throwing things around without really paying attention to that, that could be an atmosphere for that. This is reflected in the classrooms, for example. The kids that come to the class, they will be doing whatever that comes to their mind without having any structure or order. And the nurses, are not nurses, the teachers, they were going really crazy when they came to me for pills, because their anxiety shot up because there's no order, and the kids come in, they will be shouting and doing and all of that. So they were not able to do anything, and they complained to the dean of the school, and he doesn't do anything. So they have to come to me to get some medications and all that. I tried to talk to them how to get off with the medications, how to take deep breaths, and how to walk away from situations a little bit, or watch them just calmly for a while so that they will settle down. Okay, so that kind of thing is there. If you involve those kids into something very positive that you are doing, they will not be going all over the place, right? They'll be more conducive to you. That's the secret of that. Yeah. So that's about have a nice, simple, orderly outward, and so your inward will not go into the anxiety, right? And second thing is uh, just make sure that whatever you think of and you want to execute that, you want to really uh, do that stuff right away, that kind of thing, right? This is a big deal because intention and manifestation, they are kind of two different things in many people. Many people read a lot of self-help books which are valid. They have a lot of data these days, and then people put a lot of energy, time, and then what they talked about is valid, if not everything, but most of it. And once you have learned something, why are you not able to bring it in your life? That's the question. So there's a gap between what we intend and what we manifest eventually, right? So that's a human condition, actually. So many of the things that we thought of, like a ecological thing we want to do, we could not do. Many of the things that we want to justice to certain population, like a women, like a whatever, right? That is not being done. So it's a human condition itself. We think a lot of noble things, but we cannot measure up to them, or we don't do them, right? That's so. If you cut it down to your regular daily life of what you are doing, then you get to really make sure that is manifested just by doing it. Just go and do it. That commercial Nike, just do it. That's so true. You know, Instead of thinking over it, munching over it, and coming later and all that, you just do. Hi, Nazli. So you just don't have the gap in it. Not all the things you can do. Some things have to be have preparation. Something have to be so people with a discipline, with a lot of determination, they will do that. But many people, they kind of procrastinate. So you have to understand what is the difference between understanding intellectually and actually executing it in our body or mind or in our life. So you got to get your body listen to you, mind listen to you, and then your determinism will come in, right? Just because you heard something and you understood doesn't mean your body will listen. Classic example is getting up in the morning. The body would not listen, it will not decide. So to bridge this gap, what it is you got to really do the whole thing with a B. Suppose you want to get up and walk in the morning. That's a resolution that you have on the New Year's Eve because you want to lose weight. That's fine. You can continue to do that. Maybe you will find you will fail for a few days, but later on it becomes a real thing. It takes 21 days to change that habit. Once you have that, then you'll be all right. Okay. Then that's the second thing. It's a big deal. Okay, there's so much in that because how do you respond to something with conscious thought or with unconscious uh, coming of memory, right? A lot of people may have resolved this 10 years ago. Maybe things have changed completely. So when they want to do, they may feel like I missed out on this, I did not really execute. That guilt and all those things come. But especially in human relationships, I don't know whether you notice or not. If I say I'm coming on certain days, usually I try to do that, unless I'm called by some duties and all that. I try to remember and honor it. So that's very important, right, for our reputation or for our just being authentic. There's what we say we do. So it's like a rubber hits the road, walk the talk, that kind of thing, right? But that's how you gain a lot of trust and authenticity, right? That's why if you say something, do it. If you don't say, that's fine. If you say something, try to measure up to it. Or if you are not able to do it, at least pass on the reason why you are not. That way you are respected. I had to teach this to the physicians in the beginning because they were all coming at their own convenient time because they think they're important people. If you are busy, if you are in an emergency, I can understand. There's no problem. But if you are not, but you are just a physician, and then you are lounging in the lounge, but then don't really care about how many people are waiting on the meeting. So I used to get infuriated by that attitude. So I changed that attitude later on. But basically, for me, it's a common courtesy. Somebody is waiting for us. They may be a nurse, there may be somebody LPN, whatever, but then we still have to go and honor that commitment. That's a basic human respect, right? Decency. But then many people, they let things go just because they want to think over them, munch over them, and maybe they will do later. That's okay if it's something important you want to think about, that's fine. But then once you made the decision, you want to execute it. Here, many of the modern people miss their body has its own intelligence. The mind also has its own intelligence, which runs all over. It is your inner self, which is the serenity, is the quality that doesn't go anywhere. So you want to stay in that and then watch your thoughts and really study the body's tendencies that you yourself taught with so many habits when you are young, or your family, whatever. So understanding body as a tool, mind as a tool, and then I'm going to operate on that is a very, very important thing for people to cultivate. And usually what happens is all the tendencies, all the addictions, all the tolerances, all the habits that you develop, either with the body, or suppose you are sitting slumping in the chair, right? That you think it's not a big deal. But then down the line, when spinal things happen, the slumping becomes a big deal. The posture becomes a big deal. So once you resolve, I want to be in a good posture where I'm sitting straight in the chair or I'm walking out of the chair, that kind of thing. And then you actually aware of that, not in thought, but aware, then you can see your tendency is to slouch, right? And then you are aware of it, you don't slouch, you will become straight like that. Okay. So that kind of thing. So body has its own intelligence, mind has a limited intelligence, but then there is a superior intelligence that is where our real self is. Once you establish in that, you will be fine. Okay. So that is uh, gap between intention and action. That's what it is. Okay. And the third thing, final thing that we have to do is we have to let things go by. Don't brood on something. Somebody hurt me, somebody said something happened in my life, and hang on to it. And that is something a lot of people do. So they live in their head, they live in the past, but then they are not really paying attention to what is happening here and now. Thereby, they miss the present. So whatever happens, experience it, and after let it go. Then that'll be okay. There was two monks one time. They were going on some mission, and they were walking, and they took this oath that they will never touch the woman. All that, right? That's their oath. They take their they came up on a river, on the banks of a river. They saw a pregnant woman waiting there. And then she is having difficulty crossing the river. She's scared to go. But you can, knee deep, you can get into the water and walk across the river. That is there. But this woman didn't want to get on into the water. She was scared. So but she had to go other way because she was going for a hospital checkup or whatever. So this one of the monks just lifted her up and carried in his arms to the other shore, and then let her down and let her go that way. And there is two people to go went their way. After an hour or so, there's a second monk who did not help the woman, but he questions the other person. How could you touch a woman? We are monks. We took a oath not to touch woman. Why? How could you do that? Then this first one says, "Ha! I just also being a human being, I just want to help another human being who is in trouble, and she's not able to go because of her fear of water. So I had to carry her, and then I forgot about that right then. I dropped her. I did what I could do for her, and then I did. I don't remember anything about it. But you are keeping that in your mind, and you are doing clutching more than me for that woman's image and all that. So that's kind of thing. A lot of people maybe like the second one, like thinking over something all the time, not letting them go, whereas the other one has done his service, and then he kind of so this is a very healthy thing, by the way. If you can really let go things for what they are, they happen and they go. That's a very very healthy thing. Many people um, kind of make their memories stronger, and they really live them so much, they think about them so much, they really are not in the present. That means they're not experiencing anything, they're not living the life, real life. Okay, so how do you do that is, don't worry about the thoughts coming and going in cycles and all that. Don't worry about that. Just observe the thought, thinking, and other. But then your focus should be, I should be in attention all the time. Attention to our real self all the time is the key. So then you don't have to suppress the thought. You don't have to fight the thoughts. You don't have to really control the thoughts and all that, because then there is a controller controlling the thoughts that comes up, and that's very difficult for people to measure up to. So all you do is ask yourself one simple question: am I in the attention all the time, or my attention wanes and I get into the thought and then engage in the thought and go through the thought network? Okay, that's what happens with many people. Okay, so these three things actively practice daily. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to go deeper. But otherwise, these are spiritual matters. Like, okay, what is that first one? Be orderly. Be understand how the chaotic atmosphere is made by putting things all over, and how they become the nidus for the stimuli to come to us to activate our thought and then make us very anxious. Okay, that's what you want to do. The second one is to just to get things done and go. That's life. Live it, experience it, do the work, and then go. Okay, and the third one is don't live in the mind, but live in the present, live in the here and now. That's why you let go things, because they're already dead. All those things, whatever that is, right? So those are the simple things, but practice it for at least 21 days in a row and see what happens. See, that's how much time usually it takes to change something from inside. So if you can do that for consecutively for 21 days, and you practice this a little here and there in the day, you will notice the change in your mind. It's very calm, quiet, and also it is kind of pleasant for you to be like that. So that's about it. Any questions? Anything that anybody want to ask? Otherwise, I'll be, because Christmas, I don't want to take too much time. Everybody must be having. I also have a dinner probably waiting for me. So, so my kids just left to the gas station to get some gas. So after they come, we were going to sit down for the dinner and all that. Okay, thank you very much, and have a very nice Merry Christmas, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye, Wesley.